back with me the information about doing Mother's Day at the nursing home where Holly's mother is in Atlanta. At the moment, I would try to contact for North Carolina. Everybody, I gotta think about something. Kimberly, since you by yourself, you can do some, I mean, it could be something with one of the other committees. I mean, with one of the other locations, because you by yourself for right now. In Dallas, since I'm already in the senior property for Mother's Day, y'all, I was just gonna do that for Texas. I know Tonea will be at work and Tamika will probably be at work as well, but it'll be from Texas. Maybe we can get together one of the days before Mother's Day and put some little packages or something together in Dallas. But since we already in the building here, I said we could do Mother's Day here. As far as
tonight's conversation is going to be the exploration of love styles. So let's make you understand. Love styles mean different things to different people. But since people always want to mind everybody else's business, we thought we need to get some people in the live to go ahead and explain some stuff to you in a real and honest manner and let some folks get, for some it's going to be getting a clue. For some folks, it's going to teach them how to mind their business. And for some folks, it's going to open them up to a realm of knowledge that's going to allow them to live their life in a much better way. This is all about honesty. This is real. This is raw. This is the exploration. Today, I have with me Mama Q. She in the corner. She's ready. I have Mr. Mark. I have Miss Sharondia. And I have Miss Kayla. And we're gonna have a real conversation. Now, make sure in the midst of this, I see your questions, your comments. Make sure you hit the like button. I want to know what you're thinking. I want to know what you're feeling. I want you to get in from the deep parts of your spirit. Because them questions that you've been too scared to ask everybody else, go on and hit them up because we want to know. We want to be able to give you some clarity. All right? Okay. So let's get this thing started. Y'all know the routine. I'm going to start with the question. We're going to round table it and we're going to go from there. My first question, and we're going to just do a quick round table, is what is your definition of a love style? What does that mean to you and in your life? Miss Q.
I'm trying to figure out what I did here, but I'm here. I hear you.
Go ahead. Oh, you the first one. Answer the question. Go ahead.
Basically, love style is an emotion towards people who are of value to you. It doesn't necessarily mean the ideal of love, but it is a capacity to feel different emotions toward people of importance in your life. I have quite a few people important in my life. And for each one of those, they have their own particular lane of emotions. It is something that I had to understand. These feelings, thoughts, and emotions were something that I've had for a while before I knew there was a specific concept of it. But I'm here, I'm breathe it, and I wouldn't change it for anything. Embracing my own personal lifestyle has basically smoothed out some filters for me. Allow me to understand of self as far as where my emotions can be. It's not easy. Not by no means. I don't think any lifestyle is easy, to be honest with you, but it does take work. This is not an red pill, blue pill type of thing. You know, this is, you must do, if you're going to take this pill, these are all the side effects that come with it type of thing. So that's just me personally.
Okay, so Miss Kayla, go ahead and give me your thoughts.
Good evening, everyone. Your personal love style is just that it's personal to you. It is something that is an essential part of your personality, because that is how you date, that is how you love people, that is how you walk through your relationships and problems that arise. So however you love people, whether that is monogamy, polyamory, or however, that is what you do. And so, like Michelle said, whatever I do with my life is none of your business. So like, however I love people is how I love people. Whoever I love is whoever I love. And if you see me out in the streets and you don't agree with it, mind your business. Because that's how I love. I don't If I don't say nothing about your love style, don't come from my love style.
Exactly.
And that is basically how I look at it, because love comes in many forms. It comes in many different ways. It can be, and what people don't understand is that loving someone, it doesn't always have to be intimate, romantic, or sexual. You can be intimate with somebody without being sexual. You can be sexual with somebody without being romantic. And you can also be romantic with somebody without being intimate or sexual. So it's all about how you and that person agree, and what terms and boundaries you and that person agree upon. So that is my take on it.
Okay. Miss Sharondia?
Well, hello, everybody. Well, yeah, I'm going to piggyback off of your last speaker there. My love style has changed a lot. But I agree with, I have transparency with my partner from the beginning about my love style. I've had people to not agree with it. So I'm like, okay, so it's not for you. So we switch our relationship to something else. Or I just cut it off. Um, but yeah, I believe that people's love styles is it's different. Love is different now. It's more, to me, it's more fluid, depending on who it is. Basically, yeah, that's pretty much my opinion on that one.
Okay. Mr. Mark?
Well, I had to grow into my love style, even though I witnessed both sides of the spectrum when it comes to loving somebody. I saw the long-term monogamous relationship with my grandparents. I saw the wannabe monogamous relationship in my parents. Then I also saw in my maternal grandmother how you can love more than one person to suit your desires. I did every part of that spectrum. I've loved somebody internally, thought monogamy was the way to be. But then I had my eyes open to how can I love you if I think you're my property? And that's not love, that's ownership, and that's control to me. As I got married, the word mine became real prevalent. You're mine, you're mine. Like I'm your car or I'm your piece of clothing or something. So through 2 marriages and 2 divorces, I found out that my ability to love multiple people doesn't, like the lady said before me, doesn't mean sexual, romantic. I can have a love for you because I genuinely love you. I can love you like a sister. I can love you like a brother. I can love you like a cousin. Or I can love you as a friend. Because the first level of love is friendship. So as I matured and gotten to the age I am now, I look at people as you're gonna do you, I'm gonna do me. As long as you're a law-abiding citizen and just don't disrespect me, live the way you want to. But if you come for me or mine, you got a problem.
Okay. So next question. Is poly, and I'm starting with poly first because that's the most prevalent love style that you see. Is it more accepted now than it once when from maybe 10, 15 years ago? Is it more accepted now? Do you see more of the newer generation participating in it?
They're calling it poly, but what it is to me, a lot of it's harem growing. Instead of cheating, oh, you let me have another girlfriend, but I'm gonna flip the script. How many men allow their woman to have another man? Now, there are men who are open and honest with it, but a majority, because of what happened in our upbringing, both with religion and both, societal parameters, we don't think outside the box. People rather cheat than be honest and open with their mix and say, okay, I love you, but I also love her. I love him, but I also love you. There have been songs made about multiple relationships since I was little. And people think, oh, yeah, you're creeping, you're cheating. No. I love you, but I love her because she doesn't give me what you want. But not what I want, but there's something about her that's different than you. So I love her for different reasons, still love you. And people can't seem to grasp that, in my opinion.
Okay. Give me your thoughts, Sharonda.
My thoughts on that is yes, more people are coming out as claiming to be poly without doing research. Because it's more than sex, it's not swinging, because people put those two words together, and poly is not that. I've been in I call it loose part of poly, where I have my partner and I'm like, well, I like somebody. Can we take her out? There's no sex. We all go out on a date together. We're all together. I mean, there's no kissing and making other people feel uncomfortable or whatever like that. But people have to understand also that there are rules to poly. You have to be open. You have to be transparent with everybody who's in your life when it comes to that. And you have to have some maturity on you too. You have to have some maturity on you, because if that word comes in there and we use it, and that's sex, we all know that sex complicates things, because then we're exchanging fluids, we're exchanging emotions, people's emotions get high, and it's like, well, do you love her more than you love me? Is he gonna fall out of love with me and be with her? You have to really, it takes strong people to be in that lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Mama.
Speak it.
Come on, tell me what you're thinking.
Basically, it's not for the faint of heart. Like as you guys were talking, I was just reading a post a few minutes ago about a young individual who's trying to learn the aspects of poly, saying that she could possibly see herself being poly, but don't want necessarily her partners to be poly. I had to put the phone down because I was like, yeah, that hurt my eyes to read that. one thing about this, you cannot be selfish. You're going to have human emotions. Emotions need to be dealt with. They need to be understood why these things are happening. And most of the time, certain emotions are rooted in insecurity. We're not perfect. We have them. The question is, what will we do with them once we have them? Will we learn why these things are happening to us and make a positive spin on it? Or are we going to use these emotions for evil and potentially destroy not just ourselves, but those who are attached to us because we feel some type of way? It's, the next generation is coming out, but like it was already expressed, there's a lot of misconceptions about it. Even some of the people in our generation who are still trying to find their way have misconceptions about it. You get comments like, oh, you just want to sleep with a whole bunch of people. We've all read experiences of people who have had conversations about polyamory and all the things that go with it. How can you do that to your marriage? Even in this day and age, people they don't understand. I mean, we're here to educate, yes, but when something is ingrained in a person's, the way they were grown up, their mentality, it's hard to break those chains. When they have those ideas of relationships and monogamy and what it stands for and all those things. All we can do is try to educate them, and whatever they take from that information, we only pray that they use it for good.
Miss Kayla?
As the other panelists were speaking, I kept thinking of songs, because Mark said something about songs being written back in the day about multiple relationships. There is a song that keeps coming up in my mind, and it's "As We Lay" by Shirley Murdoch.
Know it. I'm old, but yeah.
I didn't know this until I was grown, but that definitely was a I'm out here sneaking, creeping, cheating song. Mm-hmm. I Will Always Love You. Isn't that about Whitney sneaking, creeping with somebody else's husband? I don't know. Like there, like he said, there are multiple songs that talk about multiple relationships, and whether the songs ended where everybody was cool or not, it doesn't really matter. But poly has always been prevalent. Poly has been prevalent even in the Bible. Solomon had buku wives. David had a whole bunch. David killed somebody's husband for a wife he wanted. Like there is plenty of examples of polyamory, polygamy, and having multiple partners all through time. So it's very interesting. And so how you poly is how you poly. And so like Mark said, a lot of the men want to be poly because they want another girlfriend, but they can't handle their ego and pride can't handle when they want another boyfriend. And it's like when I talk to people who are polyamorous, or men specifically who say they are polyamorous, I say, hey, I talk about different love styles with them. They're like, hey, like you telling me that I can have another girlfriend and my girlfriend could possibly be cool with it? And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, like you would have to be extremely transparent, extremely communicative, extremely honest and everything. And so they were like, oh, okay, I think that's cool. And I was like, well, hold on, partner. Let me ask you something. Now, what if what if this girl want another boyfriend? And they were like, nah, that's not cool. Like they both just need me. And I'm like, okay, cool. All right. And then I go on. And then people don't understand that there is a financial responsibility when you are poly. Poly is not cheap.
Because you ain't never lied.
Because now you don't have, and not saying that you have a financial obligation to completely take care of someone, but you do have that obligation to show them with gifts, maybe, or even they want to go on a trip or something. That takes money. You see what I'm saying? And so, and then you have to be, and then when poly, like you said, poly is deeper than just the sex. Like you are literally putting your life together with somebody else and another person. You are putting finances, you are putting resources, you are putting careers, you are putting personalities all together to make this work, to build a life. And so people don't understand the work that goes into it. So you think working with a husband is hard work. Just think about it. Like working with a girlfriend and a boyfriend, that's hard work. Or working with a boyfriend, a girlfriend, and another boyfriend, that's hard work. Especially if you all want to quote unquote nest. It's a lot. And so it's like which partner, and then you have the decision, which partner is going to nest, which partner isn't going to nest, which partner is going to, like, what if my partner's long distance, I want to move them out here, like I'm going to have to help them. It's a thing in the professional world called relocation assistance. If you want your partner to move, you should offer relocation assistance. And so then there's that. And then it's crazy. It's like, you want me to relocate, but you want me to do all the hard work of finding a job, finding a place to stay all by myself, but you want all the benefits of me being more
available
to you. That does not work, because I am very much Christian, and it says that a husband leaves his parents and cleans into his wife.
That's
you
right.
Came to me. So if you want me to go somewhere with you where you are, help me. Help
Speak on it.
me.
Speak on it.
Like, it's just a whole, but like poly is, and then it's like you said, people. Now I have heard of people, but that was just their dynamic. People had monogamous partners, but then they themselves actively practice polyamory. That was their partner's choice to be monogamous because they didn't want to be a part of the lifestyle. And that is their choice. But if you are taking that choice away from someone and saying, I want to be polyamorous, but you cannot date anyone else, that is selfish. And so, and I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna leave it alone. To all the men who want to go into polyamory just so you can have an extra girlfriend, just understand that girlfriend is going to want another boyfriend. Be blessed, beloved.
Speak on it.
Yes, yes. Okay, I had him on.
Let me say one more thing about this. Most people know that I'm in a polyandrous relationship where the queen of the house has her husband and me. This has been like this for almost 10 years. We just bought a house. Not them, not me, not he, not she. We bought a house together. That's what the work which you were talking about is work. Everybody has their own bank account, but when it's time to pay bills, oh, you need this bill paid, we need this bill paid, we need this bill paid. We all communicate and say what we got to do. People aren't ready for it. Most people, I'm not going to say all people. Most people aren't ready for that part of the work to make this love style work. Because everybody now is saying, well, you shouldn't know how much money I make. You shouldn't know this. You shouldn't know that. You shouldn't know this. And you should know that. And like you said about the dating part, if you can't date two women or two men and expect them to be able to afford to take you out, it's almost like in Islam where they dictate, they mandate, if you want multiple wives, you got to be able to afford multiple wives. So this is nothing different than that. You know, and the song that I was thinking about was Mute, Me, You, and He, 1984.
Y'all going way back.
I was 14 years old. Atlantic Star, Secret Lovers.
Yeah, Secret Lovers.
Okay.
See, y'all, I'm a music head. My daddy ran a skating rink, so he had a great deal of music. You had back in the day, I forgot her name. She was talking about somebody else's man. Wasn't that I forgot, but then you got the one Tyler Perry even put one in his
Can you
play.
sing it, please? Can you sing it, please?
There's music all, but back to what I was saying. Being a man, being the boyfriend of a married woman takes a lot of work, because then I go out and meet other women, and I had a woman tell me, "How do you sleep with a married woman and her husband know about it? Y'all not fighting?"
Why do you need to fight?
Because in our society, when you get married, people look at that as ownership papers.
Right.
But like I tell them, the same way you write that ink on that marriage certificate, that ink is going to the divorce decree too. So, I've been married
twice. A lot of tea today, sir.
Huh?
I said he's spilling all the tea.
He's spilling all the tea.
All of it. Ain't he done spilling all this tea? It's Lipton and it's sweet.
I need to go get me a bigger cup.
I was married to a monogamous woman. Okay. We didn't work out because of our differences in philosophies. I was married to a woman, the second marriage was to a woman who wanted a polyamorous relationship because she was bisexual and she wanted a girlfriend. Okay, no problem. But you got to understand, with that other girlfriend comes other issues. Now, what if she's attracted to me? You can't get mad if she's attracted to me. And I can't be mad if you're attracted to another man. But like Ms. Newbell said, you got to be willing, you got to give to get. you just ain't just, that's why before our discussion, I said that most Black men can't handle this lifestyle.
There's a lot of women that can't handle it either. Because
I'm speaking from a man's point of view.
Of course. I acknowledge and I embrace that. But, that's a double-edged coin.
True.
We all know that how many times have we all been in the same group and, certain questions have been asked and one of the biggest responses is, oh, I can't share. For those that are open to sharing or, that sells well with them, kudos to them, but I don't have the capacity to share.
Mama Q. Mama Q. Sorry, go ahead. You were speaking first. Go ahead. But that just hit a nerve. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I know, me too, girl. It's okay. Mama Q, I agree with you. Because I still get that. Because I'm a bisexual woman, I'm with a straight man, and but I share my partner. He doesn't want to have sex with these other women, but he does have relationships.
Right.
And I respect that. It took me a minute because I was stuck in my own selfishness. Because I'm like, now if you can talk to a man or a woman, why can't he talk to another woman? So it took me a while to get over myself.
Here's my personal experience. I don't mean to cut you off.
No, you didn't. You didn't.
This and I'm speaking this to my own relationship. I've been married for 16 years to my current husband, and we've had our ups and downs, loop-de-loops, roller coaster rides, you name it, we done rolled through it. One of my biggest things with him was it didn't matter to me if you were attracted to other women. Okay, I'm a bisexual woman. I've loved women for a good portion of my life. Hell, sometimes, this was back then. Hell, sometimes bring the pussy home to me. Let me see what you can do. But by the same token, rule of thumb was, as long as you take care of the home front in all aspects that are required to you as my husband, we ain't got no issues. You will not get no issues from me. But the moment you start slacking in your responsibilities on all levels as bequeathed my husband, you're going to have a problem with me.
I agree with you totally. I totally agree with you because I call him my partner. But I've been with him for 15 years. We've had our ups and downs. Um, he is I took a chance when I first met him, and I let him know um I'm a cheater. I don't want to cheat on you though, because if we can do it together.
Okay, y'all, we having a great conversation.
Oh, I'm so
I'm gonna
sorry.
try to go ahead and come and join. Come
Okay.
on, come on in. Don't be
Michelle,
scared.
I'm gonna need to come back because I don't know what the hell I did with this thing, but I'm gonna come back in like 2 seconds and rejoin this Zoom because my window is like I can't fix it. I don't know how to fix this, so I'll be right back.
If I can, do we have to move on, Miss Michelle? Because I really wanted to say something. Okay, so Mark, you kind of hit a nerve, and so I wanted to just talk on this. Miss Sharania, thank you for putting in your input. I really appreciated that. I respect it so much. But my point, piggybacking off of her, but going to a different perspective, is like men in the poly community who choose to have girlfriends with another boyfriend. They often, I've seen it, they often say that that's not an alpha male. They often say that this man is simple. They often say that this man has a lot of beta energy, and that a true alpha male, and I've even heard it in the monogamous community, a true alpha male will just won't let his wife, girlfriend, partner do stuff like that. But alpha males are going to be alpha males. So if they cheat on you, then you as a woman weren't doing something to keep your alpha male at home.
That's and that so, bullshit. Excuse me, sorry.
And so like, or maybe it's like, men will be men, and like
wait, stop. That's massive mentality. That's
what about women who cheat? What about women?
Wait. Women can cheat. Know how men are dogs, women are cats, right? Mm-hmm. You always know when a man cheats because his dick won't get hard. You'll never know when a woman cheats because pussy always stays wet.
That's not true.
That's not quite true.
But the point is, you will never know. Let a man cheat and try to come home and have sex with his wife, and he can't get it up.
Or his behavior is different.
Right. It's the actions. You moving a little different.
You
moving a little different.
You got to be paying attention. Exactly. You got to be paying attention, bro.
Let me live in my truth. Let me live in my truth for a second, because it just came on me. So I gotta tell the world about this one. I was dating a man, right? And he said he was monogamous, and so he started moving a little differently. And so I'm an Aries, so I just sit back and I was observing and looking. And so then so he left. There's a lot of details, but he left and he came back, and so we reconciled. And so then he was like, I want to try a polyamorous relationship. I was like, okay, let's see how this works. And so there was a lot of things that were rolling out between him and her that I had to add up. So basically, this man we were in a monogamous relationship the year before. So then we reconciled last year sometime. This man was cheating on me with this girl that he tried to get me to have a polyamorous relationship with.
That happens. That's what usually happens. You got swingers who join a polyamorous relationship because they don't want to pay to go to parties no more.
And it's just, and I was just like, and so I had to call him in. I was like, yo, come here. And so I was like, listen, this happened. This when we started dating in March. April, May, and June we were exclusive. we were monogamous because I am ambiamorous, so I can be monogamous or polyamorous. It just depends on the dynamic and the boundaries that I set with my partner or partners. So it's like we were monogamous at this time. So you was messing with this girl, and then it just no, okay.
I'm just picking all of that up, what you putting down, because I'm picking all of that up in a big old snow shovel.
It was, and then at in the moment of reconciliation, he came clean about having a whole nother baby that I didn't know about. That was produced during, well, not during, it was, the baby was made right before we started dating the first time, and then this woman was pregnant during the duration of our relationship, and then now come to find out he got the girl that he cheated on me with pregnant as well. And I'm just gonna live in my truth. But she lost the baby, unfortunately. So it was just a lot. And I was just like, and so I had to sit there in myself and be like, is this what poly really is?
No.
Is this really what it is?
No.
And I was like, no. And I had to look at myself as a woman. That's why in poly, you have to look at yourself as a woman. You have to look at yourself as an individual and be like, what will you and will you not take? And so like, I had to sit there and be like, not push my feelings aside because for the sake of a polyamorous relationship, and be like, this is what happens in poly, because it shouldn't happen. And so it shouldn't really happen in monogamy either, but definitely in poly. And I was just like, it's just a lot. And I just was like, and I had to sit there, and I actually sat there and cried about it. Now, let me tell you why I cried. I didn't cry at the loss of a man. I cried at the devastation and the deception of what just transpired, and the fact that that is a violation of my ethical and moral code. So like, I don't cry. I cried at the fact that you deceived me. I cried at the fact that you lied to me. I cried at the fact that you essentially used me. And I am not the one to be used.
No one should be used.
No one can be used. And so
no one should be used, but people allow themselves to be used because
right. And I had to take accountability for my actions in that, because even though I didn't know about it, I didn't speak up about it the first time because I saw the signs.
I just posted this. Lack of communication and lack of self-accountability will destroy a relationship. I just posted that 3 days ago.
So just to keep this thing moving, I have a question, and it came from the chat. So how much does social media and reality show play, how much of a part does it play in what this current poly is to some of these new generations? They're saying the show like Simple Wives and I have questions.
Mark, go ahead. Mark, go ahead, because it's burning you. Go ahead, man.
Hey, Mark.
Go on.
Social media has fucked up all the lifestyles. Whether it's swinging, whether it's BDSM, whether it's polyamory. Every time that social society has gotten a hold of something that was not so much taboo, but underground and a select few, they have fucked it up.
Can I just say this? I hope I don't get anybody demonetized for what I'm about to say. White people will white people, and clear people will clear. And so it's like, clear people have messed up the poly and the swinger community. Like
Actually, they didn't. Because
it's the 50 Shades, 365 on Netflix, all of that.
That's the media getting a hold of it. But the way swinging originally started was friends getting together privately and interacting and swapping. It was originally swapping. Once it became a business and people started paying to go to swing clubs and the private house parties and hotel parties, that's when it became a clusterfuck because everybody's not being vetted like it used to be. I went to a BDSM club at 19 years old. Do you know the bullshit I went through just to get in? Who do you know? How long you been in the lifestyle? What are you looking for in the lifestyle? Not just, oh, come on in, pay your money and do what you want. That's what the swing lifestyle has become now. And yes, you can be ethically non-monogamous, but not everybody, but people don't understand being ethically non-monogamous is being, like everybody said, being transparent, open, and honest. They don't want to do that. Oh, my wife is on her period, so I'm gonna go to the swing party. Dude, you tell your wife you're going out, but because she's on her period, now you're just telling you going out, now you're at a swing party. That's creeping. That's not being ethical.
Men want two girlfriends until they sync up, until their cycles sync up. I just
and you ain't getting none, no type of way, no time soon.
No type of way, no time soon, sir. You and your lotion and Vaseline are gonna be friends at least for the next week and a half.
Or here's what they want. And another thing men don't seem to understand. We don't have the things that women have. There are times where women don't want to be penetrated. They don't want to be banged in and beat up. They want to hold that woman. They want that nurturing that a woman gives, that y'all naturally have from being mothers and being daughters. And we can't do that. Now we can nurture and be, if we understand that part. But there's times where y'all just want to be together and not have a man in the room. Men don't even, I've had men tell me that my wife can't even play with pussy. Dude, you met her when she was by, yeah. They're gonna come to a swing party and all she can do is fuck him at a swing party.
I wouldn't be at that party with him.
Excuse me. I have a question. I just have a question. Miss Michelle, y'all don't know me, but Miss Michelle know. Sometimes I have sense and sometimes I don't. So this is the time that I probably won't have sense, but it just don't. It's not adding up. The math ain't mathing right. And so, how you gonna take somebody to a swing party and you be like, it don't work. It don't
yes,
work
it do. Because she said yes. She said yes, we'll go.
Why would you say yes, ma'am? I encourage everybody that if you ever decide to go to these parties, that you just leave your ego at the door.
Please do.
Yes.
But most can't.
Put it in coat check, please.
No, don't even put it in coat check. Leave it at home. Don't even get in the car with it.
Leave it in the car.
No, leave it at home. Don't even get in the car with it.
Because it doesn't make any sense. And I'm speaking on a more emotional aspect of this. It's like, if you are a man or a woman and you cannot handle seeing your partner in that aspect other than you, that is something that's in you. Yeah. Because and then that is a selfishness in you, because now you want your cake
and eat it too,
with the sauce and the strawberries
and all of that. But then you want her to be sitting over here suffering, and I just refuse to not do that because I don't have to. And so it's like I don't want to. So it's like you are. If you are somebody who is partnered and you're going to put your partner in that environment, make sure that you check yourself before and make sure that you are ready. Because I always say this: don't ask questions you ain't ready for and you ain't ready for the answer, and you ain't ready to handle it emotionally. Like don't ask me And don't ask me questions if you ain't ready for the answer. Don't do that, because you may not, because sometimes the answer you get ain't gonna be the answer that you want, and you have to deal with that emotionally, and you have to be ready to deal with that emotionally. You have to be ready to deal with the answer that you don't want emotionally. You have to be ready for that, and then you have to be, and then like people ask questions thinking that they're gonna get the answer that they want, and then now they all over here in the corners crying because and be tired and be under their covers because they got an answer that they didn't want. Then why did you ask it?
Right.
Like I just want to know why. Like now, the social work in me is intrigued. Why did you ask this question? You knew that it could have went left, and it did go left. Why did you ask this question?
You felt like you stepped into that pothole and you was looking right at it, and you kept on walking, and you stepped into it anyway.
I had a question for somebody. I had a question for somebody, and I really honestly, I have to be honest with myself. I wasn't prepared for the answer that I ain't want, so I asked the question.
Most people aren't.
Right.
Most people aren't. They want to ask a question, but ain't ready for I'm gonna say ain't ready for the answer that somebody's gonna give.
Ain't, isn't, tisn't, shan't, won't, will.
I went to a party, and this dude brought his wife. He banging everything. He left to sit on the couch, banging everything in the other part of the house. A friend of mine came and sat down next to the wife, talked to her for 3 hours. Husband never showed up for 3 hours. He finally come out from the back looking for his wife. And he's like, "Where's my wife at?" He hears her screaming from the top of her lungs. Oh. Dude got her knees by her ears, beating her the hell up. He ready to go in there and fight. We were like, "Nah, nigga, you left your wife in here in shark-infested waters for 3 hours. You up your wife into out her drawers and now giving her what you were supposed to give her 3 hours ago." They never came back to a party, and I found out she divorced his ass next week.
Wow. But it's real. It's real because you can't do that. You can't disregard this. It's supposed to be a part of the intimacy. You don't go to a swing situation. Come on, let's be honest.
And swinger situation is some deep stuff. I tell you, I've seen it in action. I've seen people like couples, like I've been in rooms with other people, and the wife gets mad at her boyfriend because he wanted to sleep with another woman. And the husband was like, "Well, honey, he can do that." And she's like, "Well, hell no." And I'm like,
"You got a whole husband. You got a whole
right now.
Where they do that at?
Like you got two.
Mama Q, a whole. You see that square? A whole husband.
A whole husband.
Yes, a whole husband. She had a whole husband, a whole boyfriend, and she gets angry because he shows up late because he said, "I was with somebody. I was out on a date or something," he said, and she just stopped everything.
Were these people melanated?
No. They were not.
So let me tell you something, ma'am. Let me tell you something, Miss Ma'am. What you're not gonna do is act like you ain't got a husband and a boyfriend. That's
why I was looking at her like, what's
like,
the big
ma'am,
deal? Like,
first of all, do you know how many people want one good man and you got two?
Okay. Let me tell you the rest. She did not only just have those two, she had another one. I'm a voyeur. I like to watch, okay? And I'm like, you are tackling 3 men. The 4th man comes in and you get mad at the 4th man because he was with another woman and not here with you. I was like, I'm confused.
So she was on some my toy.
Yes. That's why I could not get into it. It kind of turned me off of swinging. I liked the idea of poly better because I'm a Scorpio, so I'm a lover. I'm not a fighter, and it's I would
What
rather.
are you doing?
Right.
But even being in swinging, the true aspect of swinging is just not about the sex.
No, it's not.
You're the voyeur, so you enjoy watching other people. So if you let that known when you walk into the party, hey, I'm here just to watch. They have to respect that.
Yes, and they did.
People don't understand and respect people's boundaries. The rules and the communication has been lost. That's why I said earlier, they're just letting anybody into swing parties now. Just letting anybody into BDSM. They're letting anybody say that you can claim to be anything. Your words and your actions have to meet up and coincide with each other.
But speaking of BDSM, I just want to put this disclaimer out, and then we can discuss that discuss it in depth later. Every man in BDSM is not meant to be a dom.
Let's not even start that conversation. Stop. No, ma'am. We ain't ready for that yet. Because I promise you, when that conversation starts, it's going to get real good. We're gonna hold on. We coming to it, but we're gonna wait a minute.
I'll Miss Michelle, you can mute my mic. I'll be over here. I'll be right here. Waiting. I'll be right here. You gonna mute me or I'll mute me? Because I'll be in time out for that.
I got a couple other questions to ask before we get to that, because I know when we go there and what the level of fuckery that's gonna happen, it's gonna take some time to unpack some people and their foolishness. We coming. So before we get there, my next question.
That was just my disclaimer.
Before we get there, my next question is, if when it comes to this next generation period, how do we show them, and even whether it's or just the next generation, how do we show them the honest non-monogamy is? How do we?
I can't see them.
Introduce them. This is what it is. Fucking around is not. Fucking around is not poly. Screwing every Tom, Dick, and Harry is not poly. Spreading STDs is not poly. Having 3 boyfriends and none of them make sense. Having 3 girlfriends and nobody talking to each other, that's not poly. Poly is open and honest communication. How do we impress upon this next crew what the understanding of open and honest? When you saw your uncle creeping, you saw auntie with 4 extra uncles, that ain't what we doing. Because what we not gonna do is keep hiding this shit. There's too many diseases going around for us to be creeping. How do we impress upon this next generation that it's okay to be poly, that it's okay to have your love side, and it's okay to tell people to kiss your ass if they don't like it? So we're gonna start with Mama Q. Let's go.
For starters, just like that conversation, you express those things. Conversation, you help try to get them to understand that you have to reconfigure your mind, you have to educate your mind, you have to, show them the information. First of all, some people cannot be told. You can give them information, you can lay it out before them, but they're so stuck in their way of thinking, even with all the information that's there, that they're not going to embrace it. Not everybody's going to embrace trying to show them that this is available to them. But we have to be accountable in the community, no matter what lifestyle we're in. And if we're going to, we have to lead by example. Be good examples, be better versions of ourselves, because we got folks we know in any aspect of the community that's supposed to be leading by example and can't lead they know without the front door. So you got to be mindful, you got to be watchful, you got to observe where the actual leaders are by the examples that they set, by the work that they do, the positivity that they bring, the energy that they bring, who they associate with, that are doing the right things. And you support that. And that's just pretty much in any community, not just polyamory, not BDSM. That's in life. You know, you lead by example, but you also observe the examples that these people are supposed to be doing, so that they can help the next generation, or even the current generation, those who are misinformed, who are unaware, who have misconceptions. Not just next generation, that's for all the people, past, present, future,
And even
hoping
old
to
heads.
aspire. Exactly. Past, present, all of that. You got to cover it all across the board. Misinformed, unaware, wrong conceptions. You got to do all of that. Now, what people do with that information after that,
It's on them.
you've done the work. You've done the work. You've done the education. And here's the thing, even with educating, people got to also do the work themselves. Like one of the things in one of the groups, you know, people are always asking the same questions over and over and over again. And a lot of folks don't want to read. You know, they have files in these groups on topics that are always coming up. They have information days where on certain topics that are always coming up. So you get to a point where it's like, it's over there. Go read that.
But they don't want to read. Like you said, they don't want to read. But that goes back to the way society has created the way people interact. You make kids not read. You give them these. This here is called a smartphone, but it's dumbing people down. Because they find it, so it's on Google. It's on Google. Now, me and Mama Q are close in age. We grew up in a time where the only thing you had to find out information was a book. I guarantee you half these kids today and half these generations don't know what the library looks like, but to go get on the computer to get online.
Don't come from my generation. We appreciate a good library. Okay, right. we appreciate it.
I'm not saying everybody, but the majority.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. Because I mean, I will be 50 years old this year, and
you look damn good for 50.
Thank you.
When your birthday?
November 16th. I'll be 50.
Oh, you in the realms of a Sagittarius, because I'll be 50 in December.
I'll be 51 in December.
See, here we are, and look how good we look. But I have two grown kids, you know, and my daughter, sometimes she asks some really personal and private questions, and I answer them. You know, I answer them.
Because if you don't answer them, the streets will. And if
exactly.
the streets give them the wrong information, now you still got to be mommy and not fix the problem, because
right. I can't fix it. She's just asking the question. She's trying to get advice, you know.
No, what I'm saying is, if she goes out into the street and then something happens, now mommy has to come into mommy mode and help fix it. Mm-hmm. Not so much fix the, you know, not so much do that, but that's another thing that I've realized that that some parents don't do. Mm-hmm. They don't keep it 100 with their kids.
No, they don't.
You know, my father gave me 3 rules when I was 13 years old, when he figured out that I was about to hit that peak. No babies, no drugs, no jail.
I got the same thing. But it's like, how do you not make the babies? Please protect me by.
Oh no, my grandmother was on that. She gave me the book. She gave me the Joy of Sex.
Okay.
My other grandmother gave me a box of condoms.
Yeah, I did that to my son and my daughter. My ex-husband got angry, but I'm like, would you rather her have this and use this box of condoms, or come and tell us that she's pregnant?
Then you're ready to fight and kill the boy, but yet you're not doing what you're supposed to do to protect your daughter.
Exactly. I want them both to be protected. So because your daughter
had to open her legs to get pregnant. And see, that's why I tell people, stop blaming the other person. Just like in a relationship, you can't blame the other person for being with your mate. Your mate knew they were with you. And if they decide to creep, he or she made that conscious decision to bring somebody else into their life. Now, if they don't tell you, and now once they find out and they say, okay, I don't care, I'm gonna still be with you, they're responsible for that information. But if they go into it and don't know that you got a whole nother family across town, how can you blame that person if they don't know?
No, you cannot.
But that's what we do. If you know, like
I said this before on the live. Don't be that family that show up with random kids at the funeral.
That happened to me. My grandfather died, and I found out I had an aunt, uncle younger than me.
Damn.
I was scared that I slept with my aunt.
Oh.
Because I didn't know. How do you? I'm like, what does she look like? Because back in the day, I was a hoe. I was a hoe.
No, don't you have reserved hoe these days. You still a hoe, but you just more reserved.
Yeah, I'm more reserved now.
A selective E&M hoe.
But back when I was in my 20s,
everybody can't get it now.
No.
Exactly.
Right. But back in the day, if you was cute and you wanted to give up somebody, you was got. But that I'm in trouble now.
You speechless, ain't you? You speechless.
I am speechless, but let me tell you what I just found out. I just found out that my 3 great uncles is younger than my mom or something. Like my 3, it's like my great grandma had kids after she had grandkids, and I was like, she needed to stop that mess. That was not okay. Like I don't get it, because I knew my one great uncle. I did know that my one great uncle, he's the baby. He's the very last one. He does have nieces and nephews that are old enough to be his parent. And it is very interesting. And so when they see him, when we see each other at barbecues, family functions, whatever, they don't call him uncle. They don't put a handle on his name. They say, why? We older than you. That's what they say. And it's like, and so then I am an only child. And so when people see me with my cousins, they're like, oh, y'all all looking like, are y'all siblings? Nah. They was like, so how are y'all related? And then it gets to the point where like, it's none of your business. Like it ain't none of your, like we had to, like, that was our defense mechanism when we were out in public, because it's like, you asking us like how we related to each other, how we related. If we explained to you how we were related, you would look at us like we crazy because we're so close. It's like y'all shouldn't be second, third cousins and have each other's phone number. Yes, we should, because we're the only ones closer to the age. Dang. just leave us alone. And then
off me.
And then my mom was talking to her own aunt, and then somebody, church people crazy. They talking about how she your aunt. Mind your business.
That's you don't bring up church people. They the biggest hypocrites. They want to act all holy on Sunday morning, and then act. They shouting Sunday morning and raising hell Sunday afternoon when they walk out the door. You got the pastor sleeping with this one. You got the deacon sleeping with that one. You know that the choir director's gay, but yet y'all want to see him judge people.
That's a whole nother caveat that we ain't even go to. Because I know if we break that down, we're gonna break the internet. We ain't even gonna go there right now. I'm not tonight. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead back to love styles. Let's go back to where we were. So when we talking about, let's go ahead and we talk about the poly love style. Let's go ahead and talk about BDSM. Let's go ahead and let's let Sunday night be Sunday night.
Please choke me.
Uh-oh.
Please.
I lost my train of thought for a minute. Don't do that. So,
Uh-oh.
BDSM, people don't, let's be real about what BDSM is. So, BDSM is more than sex, number one.
It's never been about sex.
First misconception that we need to get through people's head. Y'all see BDSM and y'all see the play stuff from 50 Shades of Grey, and I say play because respectfully, if you want to be real about it, that ain't all. Some of the stuff is cute and oh no, So we're gonna go ahead and take it now because it's more than the choking, it's more than the spanking. It's a power exchange. It's a trust exchange, and like she said earlier, not every man can be a dom just because he wanna play Mr. Big. Listen, I'm a whole ass baby girl when I want to be. I'm a whole ass baby girl when I want to be. But let's be honest, when I need to take care of my shit, I can be the strongest one in the house. I can switch depending on the situation.
Yes.
So what you have to get, not anyone could be somebody I'm going to give a power exchange to. I have to trust you immensely to submit to you, to allow you to be my dom. It is a trust. I have to know that you're the best interest. So let's break this thing down. When it comes to be a dom or dame, I say dame, I might be saying the word wrong, but that's how.
No, you're right.
So when it comes down to it, and the love style that is underneath it. So describe to me your understanding of what a dom or dame is. What role do they play in BDSM above and beyond the sexual role? What role do they play? We're gonna start with Mama Q first.
Okay.
Okay, so to give you guys a little bit of background information, so this was a discussion I was having with someone the other day. Well, today they was asking me. For me, BDSM started the concept because I lived in a city that never slept, and even though I didn't have access to the dungeons and all those things, my curiosity, because I read like city magazines and I saw little of this, little of that out there. So reading about it and becoming aware of what was out there. But I was groomed for leadership and to take charge because of how my life was at 14. It didn't necessarily have to do with BDSM specific, but there were things that I was responsible for as a teenager that didn't allow me to do girl stuff or grow into this woman. I had to learn the hard way how to take control of things that were out of my control. I didn't have a choice to say, wait a minute, I'm not ready for this. Fast forward about 15 years, I currently still have a mentor of about 20 some years. Actually, I have two mentors, but my first mentor, because of my background and because I was so hungry for knowledge and making the right connections when I moved here to Philadelphia, I was under tutelage for 2 years. But the funny thing about this was I knew things about this individual while he was trying to teach me and mold me and shape some of the skills that I had already acquired. It was a learning process for us both, even though he wasn't technically a dom, because there were certain things about him that he was not prepared for, but I saw them in him. And I brought it to his attention as a student. And we developed a trusting relationship even to this day. So it was a process for me. And for me personally, and there are some people who would say, no, they will not agree with this. There are things that I have allowed myself to experience because I feel like I can't do something to someone if I don't have a understanding mentally and physically of what it feels like. Whether it's being tied by a rope, being spanked, there's certain things that I feel like would help me become well-rounded femtop dame. And if I connect with someone, be it guy or girl, or should I say male or woman, in order for me to have my household that I aspire to have one day, I need to have not just a physical connection, but an emotional connection, because I've experienced this. So when a person wants me to top them, I can say, depending on what it is, because I have limits too, I understand what it is that you want because I've experienced it. I've allowed myself to experience this particular aspect of kink because I want to know what it feels like. So now that, we've had that conversation, what's next? What do you want to do? But that's just me. That's just me personally. Everybody don't think like that. I know there are guys who will like, well, I would never, and that's all fine. If that's, that's how they embrace their dominant side, their male top, that's all fine. I'm just speaking from my own personal experience, which pretty much brought me here today. I'm still a student. I'm always learning. I'm always trying to, because I don't know everything. There are people way, 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 way before me, leather men, leather women, leather subs. There's so much knowledge out there. I definitely don't claim to know everything because I don't. So I'm still a student, even at the age that I am. And even with the experiences that I've had underneath my belt or been privy to, I don't know everything. I will never claim to know everything because I've had conversations with femme subs, male subs. I need to know all of that. I need to see things through other folks' eyes in order for me to have better understanding of this lifestyle as a whole. Just my 2 cents.
Okay. Sharonda, let me know, tell me what you're thinking.
I am thinking that I'm a sub because of the life that I live. I mean, I have to have control over everything. And it's really been nice to let go and to trust my partner, to know that, we have our safe words. It's not always about sex. It's more along the lines of, simplest word I can use is following orders, because I'm not good at that. I get in a lot of trouble all the time because I have a mouth. And so, but I find it to be also really freeing, to not have to, I might make myself look funny or whatever, but I don't care. I let him think. I don't, sometimes I just don't want to anymore. You make the decision. I'll do it. I won't even fight back. You say do this, that's what I'm going to do. But it was when we do it, we have our limits. He has his limits. He's not, I like it. And he goes with it, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Kayla.
Like I said, being dominant isn't for everyone, but also being a dom or being dominant is not just in that realm. It's more of a lifestyle. It's a mental capacity, because it's not all about it's not all about being in an intimate setting all the time, because some people don't want to be dominated in an intimate setting. Some people want to be dominated in other places. And that's okay, because it isn't all about sexual gratification. What it's about is trusting someone enough to lead you and being trusted enough to lead. That's what it's about. And the lifestyle isn't about just the physical aspect of it. It's like it's a mental switch. I was talking to somebody, and we got on this subject, and even through text message, I felt the instant switch. And it's comical because I was like, wait, I wasn't ready. I was not ready. I didn't know how to respond. And I told him, I said, I don't know how to respond, because like I felt the switch. And so like he immediately switched back, and so to what I was used to. And so it kind of, it's just you also have to be aware of when it's in a switch, and when you have to be aware of when it's time to switch and when it's time to just chill out, because every situation doesn't require you to be a sub or dominant or switch or brat or anything like that. It just requires you to be yourself. And if you do get into that space, like Sharonda said, sometimes it just feels good to sit back, relax, and have somebody to cater to you. Be like, you got it. I had a long day. Like, can you give me a glass of wine, and I just sit here, and you rub my feet, or you cuddle me, or something like that. It just is what it is. And honestly, in this lifestyle, you have to be almost unrepentant about your life. You have to be unrepentant about your boundaries. You have to be unrepentant about your limits and what you are willing to take, because you will be pushed to your emotional limits if you are not careful. And you have to be very self-aware, and it requires a self-confidence that will challenge you. So it definitely challenges you in other aspects of your life, but it just happens to be in this particular subsect of relationships. And like I said, everybody ain't meant to be a dom. Just because you big, bad, bold, and you think you're an alpha male, don't mean that you can just boss me around.
I like everything you just said, ma'am. I salute
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. I
Go and breathe. Mark, come on.
I come to learn that being a dom also means you somewhat have to be a little bit submissive, because you have to submit to your dom. You have to submit to your sub in order for your sub to trust you enough to want to serve you. So if you just barking orders, most people gonna hear that wrong. But if you sit there and listen, and that's what a lot of people don't do. That's why we got 2 ears and 1 mouth. Because you have to be taught. And you know what I'm talking about, Miss Michelle. People think dominant means aggressive. You can be aggressive all you want. Doesn't mean you're dominant. It just means you're aggressive. Being submissive doesn't mean you're weak. Some of the strongest submissives I know are the strongest women and strongest men I know. Because I know male submissives, I know male dominants, I know submissive females, and I know dominant females. Your characteristics, but most people are switches, whether they believe it or not. They call themselves doms and subs, but when the time comes, they have to switch into a mode. You become a mama bear, Miss Michelle. In your family life, you are dominant when you have to be. You don't like to be, but you want to be. I found out that I wasn't quote unquote a sub when I went to that dungeon in New York. Had a woman say, "Oh, I want to see you a sub." Okay, we're gonna tie you up and then we're gonna beat you. Roots came into my head. Because when she said we gonna beat you, because I was tied up, arms in shackles and chains, and my legs were. They stripped me down naked. Okay, I'm sitting here thinking, okay, I'm gonna do this with a woman because I'm learning. I'm like, she's attractive, so they beating me, and she's talking to my ear. You better get hard. You better get hard. That's the look I had. I'm not doing that. So for 45 minutes, she's spanking me. They pinching my nipples, and because it was 4 of them. They were like, wait a minute. How are you not getting hard? That's when I found out that this lifestyle was more mental than physical. Because if you turn this off, because this is the biggest sex organ we have, right here, in between this and this. Once you turn this off, ain't nothing happening. And that's what people don't seem to understand. You could have the banging body, you can have the longest equipment, but if you're not mentally connected to somebody, the physical will only last but so long. Men wonder why they don't stay erect for too long, or why they cheat. Is because most of the time their minds get bored. I'm gonna use that with a woman, but I'm going off topic. So let me get back to the dominant part. I consider myself a daddy dom because I like to take care of. When I mean take care of, not just financially but emotionally. I feel that when I talk to people, I want them to tell me their problems. Like I'm almost like empath, and I want to help them relieve that stress in their life. So no, I'm not looking to beat you down or now. If you want a good spanking, I ain't got no problem. What is my case at? Because I'll pull my case out and that's my toy of choice. But see.
I'm gonna need y'all to behave. This is not where we're going at tonight. I'm gonna need y'all to come on back and behave.
I'm glad I was muted because I was saying stuff.
See?
Because he gets his snooking, because he gonna get excited about that. And we gonna have to bring it right on back to life. Look, you see she got her wooden paddle over there in her hand, tapping it. See, y'all finna get excited and stuff.
See?
I am Miss Michelle. I ain't got no parts of this. I'm just here. I'm just here listening to.
Somewhere, baby. They're somewhere. Keep listening.
But I'm gonna be honest, Miss Michelle. Can I tell everybody?
Yeah.
She was under consideration to be my sub. I was going to. It was going to be to the point where she was going to move down here with us in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to help her take care of her and her kids. That's how much of a daddy dom I am.
Yes.
You know, she was going to have a dom. She was going to have a mistress, but we all were going to be a family. But to this day, she's my family. She tell me something wrong. Every time she called the house, hey Nika, what's wrong? She tell me what's wrong. She know I catch her crying one more time. What's gonna happen?
I already told him I got Bellman. That's why sometimes I have to wait and clean my face up before I call them. Because a part of our love style is if he catches that cry in my voice or that stress in my voice, they told me I had one time to go to the hospital and they was gonna be on the road. See, what had happened was I ain't saying shit because I ain't got bail money. Cause they going to jail, straight to jail. They passing gold, we ain't collecting $200, but that's our lifestyle. Cause they know when time comes and they're sick, first thing I'm doing is calling. Do I need to bring my ass down there? I don't care about your boss. I don't care about the neighbor. I don't care nobody. Do I need to come there? Because if I come down there, I'm gonna tell the whole club up because you need to be taking care of yourself. But that's how we love. That's how we care for each other. Look, I ain't got no problems. If I ever get sick, I know they can come, step right in this road. My kids know who it is. That's auntie and uncle, and that's it. That's what we're doing.
And that's the perfect example of what this whole discussion's about.
That's how
we were friends first. We built that foundation of friendship. Yes, we met in an adult lifestyle, but we evolved, and that's the word I'm looking for. The evolution of friendship into almost family. And that's what we're not doing anymore.
Organically built.
Yeah, because I've been there for Thanksgiving and stayed in the house. When a couple years ago, when Atlanta was under that big snowstorm, I was in Atlanta with my kids. And we got snow because I couldn't go back to Tennessee where I was living at the time, and we got stuck there. I didn't have money to stay in a hotel for another week or whatever, and they were out of town, and I got a phone. And when I told them what was going on, they says, "Okay, I'm gonna have my daughter go unlock the door, go to my house, and you stay to my house that week while you stuck. You're not gonna stay in a hotel." So I politely managed to come down south to go do what I needed to do and make sure that me and my kids are okay. Family does that. Thanksgiving, I've come for Thanksgiving. Family does that. We make sure each other is okay. That's what we do.
Yeah, and the crazy part about family, however your family structure is good, bad, or indifferent, I'm still gonna take care of you, and that's what family does. Family, like, I can be mad at you, I can be not talking to you, but you call me and be like, I'm in trouble. Like, okay, we gonna figure this out. Now, while we in this house, we ain't gonna be talking, but you gonna be safe somewhere, and you're gonna be all right. And it's and that's what family is. It's like, even though we're having our issues, it's not gonna stop me from taking care of you. Like, even though I am upset with you, it's not gonna stop me from taking care of you and to making sure that you're okay. Oh, we're not talking right now, and something happens to you, I'm gonna be at the hospital. We just gonna be at the hospital, me mugging each other, but I'm gonna be answering these doctors and nurses questions because that's what family has to do. It's like you have to put your personal feelings aside, because at the end of the day, this is business, this is family, and it has to be a compartmentalization when it comes to that. It's like, okay, yeah, I'm still, like, people be like, oh, you mad and you still want to go take care of this person? Absolutely, because at the end of the day, this person is my person, and like, even though we were just fussing 5 minutes ago, guess what? Like, this person needs me, and I'm gonna go with them, and I'm gonna make sure that they're okay.
And I'm gonna still fuss them out while they're making sure they're okay.
You know, all of that, and
you're gonna get all the smoke.
All of that, like, you decide to get, you want some more attention, and you gonna decide to get hurt. Oh, that's how we doing now, being all kinds of dramatic. It's just crazy. And that's what family does. It's like, why are you crying? Who do I need? It's like, who do I need to fight? Like, you want me to step for you? Like, first of all, it's two things that you just can't stress out for me. You can't and they're in the same category, but one is a little bit deeper than the other, and that's old people in my family. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't stress out the old people. Don't do that. Don't do that, because first of all, they old. They ain't got no time for your shenanigans. They ain't got time for your mess. They done live. They done raise these kids. You raise yours, okay? They ain't got time for that. What they got time for is to be sitting here reading the Bible and loving on God and loving on us. But we gonna get them. They loving on us, but we gonna get them stressed. No, that ain't gonna work. And then don't stress my family, because then I'm a step for you. And I'm a step for my family. Whether I ain't seen you in 5 years or 10 years, if you my cousin, now I know you my cousin, and we done spent time together and we slept in the same house, I'm a step for you. Like, it ain't no if, ands, or buts about it. It ain't no conversation, no ambiguity. We gonna step. And that's just how it is. It's like no, for real. Me and my cousins, we were all together, and somebody came for one of us. We all looked at them and was like, "You really want to do this right now? Do you really want to do this? And I said, my mama saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost. Her mama ain't nowhere. Her mama love Jesus, but she still cuss a little. And her mama fight people. Don't do this. This is not what you want. One of us gonna fight you. The other one gonna cuss you out. And the other one gonna pray that we get away from 12. That's just how it's gonna be. This is how it's gonna be. That's family. That's family. That is family. And so, yes. And so that's how it is. And bringing it all back together, it's like, that's how it is in the lifestyle. It's like, okay, so when you have a daddy Dom, he takes care of you. He makes sure that you are emotionally stable. And that's what we need people for, because even outside of relationship, it's like we need that person that we know at the end of the day that we can call them and we're going to get our life together. Now, Are they going to say everything that we want them to say? Absolutely not.
Oh, no.
And they ain't going to say everything that they going to tell us.
Michelle Warren took a two-day tongue lasher from me. But I still love her.
You know, that's what happens. It's like, at the end of the day, like, you know how you know you love somebody when you fuss them out. And I mean, you fuss them out and then you be like, I love you at the end of the conversation. You love me after you done ran me down. Like, I just, like, you really love me.
But she deserved that rundown though.
You know, some people, Mark, I'm on the side of Miss Michelle sometimes. And so I'm gonna say she didn't deserve that rundown.
She did. She did.
So here it goes. At that time, I deserved my moment. We have had moments where I deserved it, so I didn't bother with him. I let him say his piece. Now, we've had our moments where we've clashed like the Titans, and when I got mad and said something, he left me alone for a little while because I got pissed enough. But for the most part, every so often, he gonna check me, and I have to let him check me, and we be done with it. I'm gonna let him say his piece, and we gonna be done with it. I ain't gonna lie about it. Now, those moments where I don't deserve it.
Oh yeah, then Mark, shut up.
I'ma just let you have it. Sometimes you just be like, man, I'ma just let you have it. It's like it was you okay, I was wrong. Like I was wrong. And the thing about it, and the thing about that people love about me is like whether I'm wrong or right, I'ma stand the same way. I'ma stand tall with my head held high. Like, yep, I was wrong, I did it. And I'll take the consequences.
And you also understand that our love style is like Melody said in the comments, our love style also impacts our village. Because I was going through the process of figuring out who I was. I had been divorced for a couple of years, and I was in a process of learning me, who I am as a woman all over again. They were there. They facilitated that.
Yep.
They facilitated that in a safe space where I didn't have to worry about someone taking advantage of me. I'm part of my village. My children know, my daughter knows that if something goes wrong, she can call them and say, hey, auntie, hey, uncle, I'm having this issue. Mama can't do it right now, or mama's sick. She knows she can call one of them and have a conversation. That's our love style. We truly love each other. And the biggest thing with love styles, whether it's poly, whether it's BDSM, whether it's, whatever, it has to be authentic. And that's what I think in a lot of the newer and younger kids, a lot of authenticity is starting to be missed. They don't have the family, they don't have the village anymore, like we've talked about on previous casts. They don't have the family anymore, but the authenticity is, stop being scared to be who you are. If you're a woman who likes women, be that, stand in that. Don't live your life miserably. If you are a woman who happens to love this man, and they're okay with it, and you communicated that, live in what you're gonna live in. Tell people to mind the business that pays them. So unless they finna finance your whole entire lifestyle, they need to go somewhere exit stage left. Because what we can't do anymore is be sitting here crazy because we're trying to fit ourselves into this hole that someone else has made for us. And this is a lesson that I had to walk by personally. I lived for whoever wanted to be, and I made myself who everybody needed me to be or wanted me to be for so long. And after a while, I was so broken underneath, I didn't know what to do. So when my love style became honest and when it became authentic, and as I started exploring it was like, oh, not as broken as I thought I was. I was with the wrong place. I was in the wrong place. I was with the wrong people. Once I cleared that and I was true about my love, who I love, how I loved. I have friends that I've had forever. I have people who came back and told me, yeah, I kind of figured I was living with, I had a whole husband and everything, but I'm a lesbian woman. But I was living this lifestyle because that's what I was raised with, and that's what it was right. But when I decided to come out, I had people talking about, yeah, we kind of already figured it out. I'm like, no, what you didn't tell me for? Even
Because that was your journey. Your journey is your journey.
Yeah.
Your book had to be written when you were ready for it to be written. Nobody else can write your book of life for you, but you.
And that's what a lot of people are, a lot of this younger generation is not doing. They're still trying to do this, or they're trying to do what they see on TV. And baby, don't worry about that. On TV, on the websites, on social media, what your friends say, none of that matters. If you're straight, be proud and be straight. Don't try and hang out with the gay ones because they're your friends. If you're gay, be proud to be gay. Enjoy it. Don't try
Embrace
and
your truth. Embrace your truth.
Listen,
Embrace
don't
your
be
truth.
trying to don't try to keep up with people to my generation and younger. Don't be trying to keep up with people on social media because their house is a mess, okay? And when I say their house, I mean their whole life is a mess. And I'm not here to judge nobody, but it's like, oh, you like there's a reason why they only post pictures outside because their literal house is a mess. And there's a reason why they only post pictures with these filters because they themselves are a mess. Because up underneath all of that makeup, up underneath all of them jeans and that car that ain't theirs and all of that, like, oh, they posting in front of a Mercedes that ain't got their name on it. Like it's just like you want we I'm going to include myself. We want things that we see on social media, but those things sometimes aren't realistic. They aren't. Are they achievable? Absolutely. I think that if you work hard enough, you can have everything in life that you want. But are you doing it to please yourself, or are you doing it to prove to social media that you can do it? Because go ahead.
Oh no, I was getting ready to say that's the reason why mostly when I post stuff, I post pictures of my grandchildren, birthdays. I try not to get personal with my social media. I don't because I agree. I don't want anybody in my business. If I want you to know, I will tell you. I'm not ashamed of who I am or how me and mine live. I don't have a problem with that. That's not for everybody because I get the whole I can't share my man, I can't do this. Well, girl, that's a lot of can'ts. That's a lot of can'ts. That's not in my vocabulary.
Well, it's not that they can't, they won't. There's a difference.
Right.
How grandmama said it, you never could do nothing.
Okay. Because I felt the same way for a long time until I was unhappy. I was unhappy because I could not be my authentic self. I knew for a long time I liked women, but I married a man, I had children and all of this. And it was when I got tired. That's what happened. I got tired. I asked my husband at the time, hey, this is the journey that I want to now take.
You want to take that ride with me?
Would you? Yes. And he said no. And I said, okay, I'm leaving. He didn't want me to leave, but I couldn't stay there knowing what I was about to, what I was about to go through. And I told myself I don't want to be with somebody who doesn't want to take the journey with me. Now I've been with folks, I've been with folks who tried to ride this ride and couldn't handle it. So I was like, okay, right. So Miss Q, stop it. So so I was like, okay. And I had to, I moved on. And it took me a long time to find the person that I'm with now. And I mean,
You
not
sure
saying
we in kindred spirits?
yes.
Because I was married twice,
Mm-hmm.
engaged 4 times.
Wow.
And I'm not a monogamous person.
Neither am I.
I wanted to say something earlier. You're not a cheater.
Okay.
Because when you call yourself a cheater, that means you weren't accepting, you were labeling yourself what society deems is the right label for you.
Okay.
You are non-monogamous.
Basically.
Now, were you being ethically non-monogamous? Probably not. But
no.
But you had to find out who you were by failing. Does that make sense? You have to do it the wrong way to find out what to do right.
Yes, exactly. And that's usually what happens anyway.
And you didn't have, like, the question was, what do we teach a younger generation? Be your authentic self, be open, honest, and transparent, but don't live, as everybody said, don't live for everybody else. Because when you close your door in your house, don't nobody pay your bills, don't nobody cook your food, don't nobody wash your clothes, don't nobody do nothing for who's in your house. So
exactly,
if the people in your house know who you are, and you're honest with who you are to yourself, I've been told not to cuss, so I'm gonna say screw the world.
Okay.
Because the queen of the house has spoken. She said for me not to cuss no more because she's watching. So I've toned it down.
I'm a sailor. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm a sailor.
No,
I'm a sailor.
But because I'm dealing, I'm talking with a bunch of a group of ladies. She's saying respect the ladies and not cuss as much. Now if it comes out, it comes out.
Come on,
I'm not a sailor unless I get absolutely positively upset.
That happens.
And so I've had people around me when I was from middle school all the way up until now who have gotten me mad. And they said, Kayla, that is something I don't ever want to see again.
You are. Well, you did say you were an Aries, right?
I did, and they.
Oh yeah, y'all bitches.
We ain't seen a Sagittarian at work either.
My friend sent me something on accident. He sent me a very provocative text message on accident. It was not meant for me. And so he was like, and I said, and I texted back instead of popping off. I said, did you mean to send this to me? Very calmly, like we talked about, it's all about tone. And he said no, and he was extremely apologetic. And then at the end, he said, please don't kill me. And I said, I had to look at that text message and said, wow, you've known me over 10 years and you still remember my temper. That says something. That is 6'5".
Okay, whose dog is whining?
Oh, that's my dog. Well, my niece. That's my little niece. My friend's dog.
Oh, she just sounded like something was wrong.
She in the cage. She want to get out.
And she's talking.
Yeah, and she's a husky. So
because she hears me talking, she hears somebody else talking about her.
Yeah, she I would turn the camera around, but she laying in the cage trying to bite out of it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah, probably at the end I'll take her out, but right now she'll have to stay in there.
But, poor baby.
I know. But sorry. No. This man was upset that he sent me something. No, don't be upset because things happen, mistakes happen, but he didn't want me to be upset, and I said, there's no reason for you to be upset. My temper has definitely went down over the years, and all is well.
Let me chip in. Let me say my moment. That one there, Mark understands that I'm a Leo. I'm a kitty cat. I don't get mad very often until I'm back into a corner. When you back me into a corner and I ain't got no other thing to do, my claws come all the way the hell out. Ooh, then I act real ugly. Now, but here it goes. Once I've said my piece,
I can't see that. Did I catch the right? Did I catch the nice Michelle, Mark?
Yes.
I'm gonna ask you, Mark.
Yes.
Did I catch the right Michelle? Did I catch the nice one?
Yes.
He has seen me mad. He has made me mad.
Oh yeah.
I think I caught it.
But you know why I did it?
Now I can laugh about it. At the time, I called you everything but a child of Jesus.
But you know why? You know why I did it? You know why I made you mad? Because you had to see, because I had to bring something out of you.
You was flashing your man titties.
Really, ma'am?
Right.
What happened?
We heard your whole conversation.
Oh, my bad.
But back to Michelle.
But yeah, he did. That's how part of it. Like I think we have a love style. He is Sagittarius. I'm a Leo. When I get irritated enough and you catch my timing, I said, when you hear me get to that conversation where I say, let me tell you one motherfucking thing, and I talk really fast, I'm mad. Call you everything but Jesus.
Oh yeah. I have taken her to a point where she was so mad she started crying.
And up on him.
But I had to do it. But I had to do it because she had to see where I was coming from.
Okay.
Because there was an incident where I was so angry, I didn't want to have nothing else to do with her because of something she did. But then I said no. Huh?
Something you thought I did.
No, something you did.
Okay.
Something you did. And I had lost it. I was like, no way that this girl did this to her and her kids. Now you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. But it wasn't the scenario is you didn't have all the pieces of information. So that's what made me, instead of me taking
I'm talking.
That's what made me get cut. That's what made me get mad. If I'm wrong and I'm totally wrong, I take it.
You're totally wrong at this. But I had to get you to the point where you were so mad you understood the anger that I was going. But that goes back to the love style. Now,
yes,
me and Mama Q are 2 days apart, 2 years apart. No, a year apart. And we have become so close that she's actually my mentor, whether she believes it or not, in the BDSM lifestyle.
I just want to interject something. Even though we are of the same zodiac sign, and we currently have a very solid friendship, you know, he and Cupcake are family, but we have clashed.
Oh yeah,
we have clashed, like, because, you know, once upon a time, the same thing, you know, it looked like there was going to be a whole poly thing or whatever, and just at some point, and I speak my 2 cents in front of him. At some point, from what I was observing and interacting, he and Cupcake couldn't get right together at that time. And it was affecting me in such a negative way that I had to actually step back from the situation. I spoke my piece. I spoke to them individually, you know, as you do with family, to try to get all sides of the story. And then I did my part and told them what I had observed and how it was affecting me. And it had affected me so much that I physically had to step back, even from way over here, because that's how vested I was in the both of them. They're still my family, even to this day. We have stepped over that. But at that moment, that hurdle was a very rough spot for all of us. And that was their relationship. You know, whatever bumps that they were going through at the time, I was sort of a part of it, but I wasn't a part of it because it still affected me. But he and I, all of us, have long since overcome all of that. And we do talk. It could be anything from general to stuff like we're all doing now, to just like
your health, my health, her health.
Yeah, when I got sick in 2018, it was very, very, very hard for me because at the time I thought I was having a stroke, but it turned out to be Bell's palsy. And I had never had Bell's palsy, but what brought it on? Because I was in a very stressful part of my life. A lot of things were going on. So this side of my face was paralyzed, partially paralyzed. And if you know anything about Bell's palsy, you know it also affects your speech. So it was a learning experience curve for me because I became more consciously aware of what stroke patients go through, how it affects them emotionally, how it affects them physically. And he was concerned for me. Like we would talk and stuff like that, but it made me, it was a tough situation for me because it's part of it was being felt helpless, you know, not being able to form complete sentences, you know. Even now, 3 years later, if I have a flare up, this side of my mouth will do like this. So I have to keep my stress at a minimum or put it in a functioning level because I can't go back to that. I refuse to go back to that. That was not a good time for me. You know, I had physical therapy, I had speech therapy. It was hard for me to be in public knowing that I could almost barely talk. I had this complete island accent.
Yes, you did, Lord.
Lord Jesus.
If you could hear her accent, you would swear it was now not making it funny, but it was because it was a funny time.
It's
but
fine.
Her accent every time I called it, and she's like, I'm like, oh my God, woo, woo.
It was just a lot of my close friends when I would talk to them, but it was part of me basically trying to get my current speech as you hear me now, you know, trying to get my voice back. But through those 3 to 6 to 8 months, I was speaking with an island accent that you wouldn't believe, where it was much thicker and heavier than this. And the funny part about it was the speech therapist, she was like, where are you originally from?
New York. New York.
Where are you from? She was like, I was born and raised in New York, but my roots, my genealogy is African from Tobago, but I'm a city girl. I was born and raised in the city.
Oh, so your natural voices came out. That's all that was. You are, yeah.
My ancestors was right there on it.
Yeah.
My ancestors was right there on it, but that is family. That's family right there. We could bump heads and, you know, say things to each other, but we say things to each other with an honesty that we both appreciate from each other. And no, I did not know that I was mentoring you. I was not aware. I'm honored and I'm flattered, but I did not know that.
Why do you think I kept calling you?
Because we like to bug each other.
True. But that's what people don't do. They don't find that person or people in their circle, because my circle is that big. That big. And the younger generation, I keep when I run into them, I said, don't, you know, because we live in a military town. and I talk to a lot of these military soldiers, and I tell them, don't quit. Well, I'm getting out. And I'm not saying do what? What you gonna do after 4 years? Go to school?
You have a plan?
They don't have a plan.
Can you assimilate yourself back into society after being in the military for 4 years?
Well, you gotta wait 90 days to get your insurance. You gotta possibly your paycheck fluctuates based on how many hours you work. You know, I said do 20. You get out, you get a paycheck every month. You get insurance. And you still can go get another job because you're only 40 years old. Yeah, but I can't do 20. I don't think I can do 20. So how many do you do now? Well, I'm in year 5. Hell, you're a quarter way done. But that's what we don't do. That's what we don't, and I'm seeing this. I'm just going to use our community as melanated people. We have gotten away from learning from the old, and teaching the young, because we're the bridge right now. Most of us are the bridge between the older generation and the younger generation. And if we don't stay that bridge, we're going to lose our history, you know, and learn the art of communication.
Yeah, I've noticed that because I try to instill that with my children. You know, they're like, you talk to your mama like that? And I mean, it's not cussing. My daughter doesn't cuss, but she tells me a lot of things, right. You know, but I also tell her, if I don't know something, we're going to find out, because I'm a reader anyway, or we're going to read our way into it, or we're going to Google that mug, you know what I'm saying? And if I have a friend who I think knows, we asking them too. We're going to get you the right information so you can be, you know, because I told my daughter, I want you to be a productive partner. I want you to be a productive parent. I want you to have the life that you want to live, and don't let anybody put you in a box because this is how you want to live your life, you know. And it's hard to find those safe places, you know. It's hard to find those safe people to entrust your feelings to, your
life.
Feelings. Yes, exactly, Mark. Your life into their hands, you know. And you guys have that, and that's what I want to build, you know.
Come on. You can be a part of it. Come on.
In a lifetime.
Come on. Give me. We embrace that over here.
Okay.
We do.
In a lifetime, we find those. I'm sorry. In a lifetime, we find those people that we can consider our support system, and that's also those people that we trust so much that when we are at the point in our emotions where nobody can bring us down, a select few can talk to us, and we're not saying that we're coming all the way down, but you know, we're taking it down some notches. Or it's like it's only a select few of people that can, quote unquote, talk sense into us, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's very weird, because as you guys are talking, I am currently in my 20s building that right now. And so it's really cool thinking back on all the things that I experienced as somebody who was like, because I had somebody call me and say, please, I have a friend who's like my brother, and I had somebody call me and say, please talk some sense into this man. And I said, and I got on the phone with him, and I said, what's going on? And like, we talked about it. We talked about it. And I said, and listen, he knows that I am going to tell him and possibly give him the business if he wrong, because you wrong.
Yeah, I had that happen to me recently. My girlfriend, she called me you know, she's going through a positive transition in her life. And I'm agreeing with you. I can't remember your name to save my life. Miss Newville. Kayla.
Yes.
I'm very bad with names, y'all, so please forgive me. I'm good with faces, but I'm very bad with names. But my girlfriend recently called me and she was like, I need your advice on something. And I'm like, what's good? And she was like, I need you to tell me if I was being a bad friend. She has a new business and, you know, something that she's very excited about. You know, she's trying to carve a niche for herself because the last year and a half has been a very bad transition. I won't say bad, but it's been a very hardship. And I'm proud of her for coming out slowly but surely, however she's calling out on the other side. So her having this new business and it's in sales, but it's, you know, for products and stuff like that. So she presented a situation to me where someone that she knows, she talked up her friend's, I think it's her friend or her sister's ex, and supposedly, you know, presented to him the new business because they're both in the same business. She was like, was I being a bad friend because I outsold her? I'm like, no, you slow, you roll. I was like, everything in life is a competition. And just because she was asleep on not speaking up to this individual about what you guys are both mutually into, you proved to be a better salesperson or a better pitch person. So he decided to check it out because of something you said. If that
Don't
man,
dim your light. Don't dim your light. Don't
if
dim
that
it.
man, exactly, if that man brings in the coin that you were trying to acquire based on your sales pitch, that means she needs to step up her game. Now, if you was being shady and went behind her back and started pitching to people that she may have already spoke to, then I would see you're gonna be like, yeah, you wrong. That's shady. But if it's not somebody that she has solidly spoken to about the same mutual business you guys are both in, and you pitched it to him better than she did, oh well.
Right.
That's what happens in business.
Yeah, it's like we also as individuals, we have to learn that business and our personal lives are two totally separate entities.
So we can't. We have a problem separating them.
So however you feel professionally is not how I feel. I learned this hands-on. However I feel about you professionally is not how I feel about you personally.
Right.
It's like, do I feel like you came for me professionally? Absolutely. But personally, I think you're a real cool individual. Like, and we can have lunch on the weekends or something. But like when we come in on Monday morning and you coming at me sideways, don't take it personal if I come back at you. You know, it's just that we have a different working style, you know, and and we also, in a professional environment, we also have to understand that everybody wasn't raised the same way we were. So I was taught that when you enter a room, you speak to everybody.
Yes.
Yep.
And so what do I do when I go into work? I speak to everybody. Whether you work on my floor, or not, I will speak to you. I got on the elevator with the director of my organization, shaking in my boots on this elevator. And you know what I did? I still said the same. I said, good morning.
Yep. Hello.
And I said, I love your haircut, which she had a bad haircut, y'all. That thing was nice. And I said, I really like your haircut. And I used her last name, but she said, please call me by her first name. And I said, okay, I'll put a handle on it. But because ma'am, no, I'm not going to call you just by your first name. One, because you old enough to be my mama. And two, ma'am, you run this.
But here's what she did. She gave you permission.
Yes.
She gave you the permission to call her by her first name. Even though
she did.
So once she gave you that permission, she broke it, but based on the way you would seem like you were raised. Because I'm 50 years old, and there's two older ladies that work at my job, and I still put a miss in front of them. It's just the way we were raised.
Right. I do call, it's an older lady that worked with me directly, and I only call her I call her by her literal first and middle name because like I like her literal first and middle name but if I am addressing her in whether or not in conversation, if we're asking about her, we say we put a handle on her name because this lady's old enough to be our mama. But and when it's just me and her interacting, because like I don't care how old I am. I don't care. I'm not the youngest on the team, but she think I'm the baby. So you know what? She think I'm the baby. So that's but that's our relationship. That's our love style. So she'll call me like directly on my phone and she'll be like, I need this done, whether it's personal or professional. She might need help fixing something on her phone, or she might need some help dealing with a client. It doesn't matter. I don't tell her what to do over the phone. I say I'm on my way, hang up the phone and walk around to her office and we deal with the issue. Like, could some of them issues have been dealt with over the phone? Absolutely. But because I respect you so much, I say, hey, I'm coming over there. Like, she doesn't even have to explain to me. She said, I have a problem. I'm coming over. Okay, bye. You know, it's just a respect thing. And so like, but getting to my point, everybody isn't raised the same, and we have to understand that everybody doesn't address people the same way. So because I'm grown and my mom still will tell me to put handles in front of people's name and put the fear of God in me. Amen.
My mom is fast, but she cussed me out one time. I was, of course, my son was about maybe 5 or 6 years old and I was in my 30s or whatever. But I was living in her house and whole grown ass woman with 2 kids. But she's exactly.
My house, my rules.
My mother did the same thing to me, and I just immediately, but I shut down.
I was like, I'm yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
I did. I said, yes, ma'am, I'm sorry. But when we got alone, I said, hey, mama, I'm a grown woman with 2 kids. You don't put me in the same category as those children.
But in her eyes, you will always be her child. No
exactly. And she said that too, but she never did it again though. Because I was like, mama, don't do that. You don't have to. You don't have to.
Yeah. And so my mom couldn't hear me. I was in a conversation and my mom couldn't hear me put a handle on this lady's name. She stopped the whole conversation between me and this lady and said, did you put a handle on her name? And so I'm looking at my mama wide-eyed, like, because like whether or not, like, depending on this answer is depending on the response I get. And I said, and at that moment, I really didn't remember if I did or not, because it was such ingrained in me. But fortunately for me, the lady spoke up and said she did put a handle on your name, on my name, and I was allowed to continue this conversation because it's not the fact, because you got to understand that the other kids around my age, even younger in this area, they didn't put a handle on this lady's name. They didn't put a handle. They just called her by her name.
But did she correct it?
She did not correct them, and the parents didn't correct them.
So, but then that's on her, because the only way to get respect is demanded. If you don't demand the respect, you won't get it. So, if I get today,
they just called her.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, they just called her by her first name, and like Michelle said, that wasn't none of my business. So I did what my mama told me to do, and so what they did,
it was on them.
So when they addressed her, and of course, like when she was my hairdresser, so we were in a salon setting. So the other stylist kids were there, and they would call her by her first name, and it's like if we all were there at the same time, each one had 1 kid, so it would be like maybe 3-4 kids at the same time who are getting just there with their parent, right? And so if I asked for something, I had to say, Miss Cynthia, can I have this? Or Miss Cynthia, I'm going to do this. And we will be there late at night. And if you're from Fayetteville, North Carolina, this shop was on Bragg Boulevard and it was getting dark. I said, Miss Cynthia, give me these keys. I'm about to lock this door because we're on Bragg Boulevard. Cause like
we on the boulevard, we gotta wrap it up.
And to me, that's a problem. To me, that's a problem. There should be no reason why we have to live in fear in our own communities.
Right.
Because
what we do.
I know, but that's where it goes back to our love style. Our love style for ourselves in our community is shot. Because there should have been 5 men who tell everybody, don't mess with such and such a shop. We're gonna use Miss Cynthia's shop. Or y'all gonna have to deal with us. Because if you tear up your own neighborhood, then she moves out. What do you have there? Mm-hmm. Now, the elderly don't have a hairstylist to go to or a barbershop to go to. That's why I said before, we got to be the bridge between the young and the old.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You know, right. Your generation is more into technology now.
Yeah.
But technology is not made for us to keep our history intact. Who's our history? The ones that are older.
We are. Mm-hmm. We're supposed to be the storytellers. We're supposed to now be telling those stories. We're supposed
my 90-year-old grandmother's still alive. My grandmother has her grandparents' marriage certificate from the 1800s. So how do children today know where they come from? They just know, we're not loving. They're not learning love at home. So how are they supposed to learn love? To learn love another person per se. Mm-hmm. Whether it's a monogamous relationship, you can't love somebody because you don't know how to love yourself.
Mm-hmm. That's why I'm in therapy.
Hey, listen, I'm a mental health advocate. I may not be a professional advocate, but I've been in therapy. I speak to people about therapy. I feel very fortunate because right now my current journey allows me to speak on not just my journey to better health, but my emotions as well. And for me to be able to stand here and be authentically vulnerable, it takes a certain je ne sais quoi to be able to say, this is what's going on with me, y'all. Now, of course, everybody has friends that they personally pour everything into, but, allowing myself to be a mental health advocate, because I have friends who they go through their own personal demons, as do we all, some darker than others. And I had to realize on this journey that to be able to say, whether out loud or to self, I am not okay, that in itself takes courage.
Yeah.
It does take courage to say, I am not okay, to reach out. And also, let's not cut you off, Mama Q. Let's, did I cut you off? I'm sorry.
No,
I'm so sorry.
No. You.
Okay. Let's normalize getting into therapy, and let's normalize understanding that the African American community has been plagued with mental illness for generations.
Yeah.
And it has been, and for some people it has been untreated. And so what we realize now, as research is coming out about certain mental illnesses, is that we have that preceptor, and we are not more likely, what is it? It's genetics. So if we don't know that our great-great-grandfather was bipolar based on the writings that we see, then how do we know that we're not susceptible to that? You see what I'm saying?
But
Or
here's why that's an issue. Because once we find out, we are so afraid to admit it, especially males. How can we be the head of the house when we're not the head of ourselves?
But you know,
With anything,
I-
male or female
No,
perspective.
but I'm using as because the black male has a double edged sword looking at him all times.
Yeah.
We are a threat to their society, but we're
Mhm.
not taking care of our own
Right,
because they don't want us to take care of our own.
No.
right.
that's the thing. It's been demonized since the dawn of time for men, more so than women. Women are still look different, but for men, because it's been ingrained that they're not supposed to get the help they need.
Right. So let me finish and start real quick.
If they get the help they need and they got the mental health across the board, they will be so powerful that they
And that's what they don't want.
take things to a different
Exactly.
world.
They don't want that.
They want to
They're
keep.
scared of that. They're scared of that.
They want them to not know their mental health. They want them to not get their families checked. They want them to pass this on generation to generation because they know that if they ever got wind and got that mental health and they broke those generational curses, if they broke the generational curses and these generations stop being street pharmacists and real pharmacists, and they instruct their sons on how to stand up and be strong in their households, then our levels will grow up, our households will be stabilized, and things will go to a different generation, and they wouldn't be as much control as it is now.
The craziest, the most insane.
This, and now that we're starting to get this, what
Right.
we have to do is get ourselves. See, the women to figure it out. Oh, okay, y'all think we crazy, but we starting to figure out if we get our sons while we have some influence, if we can take care of our sons and get them where they need to be at ground level, then by the time they hit their 20s, if we can get them in them first 10 years the help they need, then when they get older, they something.
Right.
Why now
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
The craziest thing I've seen, Michelle, you kind of like y'all been triggering a lot of little memories from me today. The craziest thing I've seen is a man. I didn't have classes with this person, but he allegedly was he was in pharmaceuticals, but he was a college student, and he went to class faithfully because I recognized his car. Went to class faithfully. Actually, in some kind of way, I lost touch with him. We ended up being Facebook friends some kind of way, and I was scrolling through his pictures because I'm nosy, and so I seen that he actually graduated. And now he's legit. Of course, there are problems arise before that, but I said, if I don't, the journey, I didn't agree with. The method, I didn't agree with. But the outcome, I can get with the outcome because now you're not in that lifestyle anymore. And you got out, you use that lifestyle to get to where you needed to go. And once you got what you needed, once you got what you wanted, you turn that legit.
But a lot of them can't. A
lot of them cannot. A lot of them cannot. And so that's why I say you can say whatever you want to say about this person. You like you can say you can feel however you want to feel, but at the end of the day, this man got a degree and he got his own business. So guess what I'm gonna do? Mind mine.
But you know what? And I had this conversation with someone else earlier. Here's the thing. If they stop trying to demonize the little black boy, that's why they're shooting them now while they're young. Because some of them a clue that says, if I go ahead and apply myself a little bit, I could possibly get somewhere in life. So we're for some of these men to go back into they go back into the communities and reach their hand out to pull these boys and say, listen, let me show you what you can do with a little bit of education. You don't want to go to school, that's fine. Here's some military over here. You don't want
Or go to trade school.
Here's a
Be
trade
a
school.
plumber.
Exactly.
Be
Who's
an
a trade
electrician.
school?
Be a carpenter. Build a house. If you build your own house, they can't take it from you.
And that's the thing. So now that we're starting to reach back old school, each one teach one. Come on, boy, you ain't going to nobody's school, but let me show you how to take this engine apart so you can be a master certified, ASC certified
Mechanic.
Let me show you how to pay pipes and stuff. Let me show you how to do something that even if you don't go to this darn school, you got something that I don't have to worry about paying your bills later on. Hold on, let me show you. Let me get on these.
Right.
And some of these guys are understanding. Let me get on some of these temp services who teaching me something because they need cheap labor. But let me get certified in this crap while on they dime, and then I can go and apply for the job. And
Yeah, it's so many barbers I done seen on my timeline that I went to school with and I didn't go to school with. Like I told this man, he lives in Georgia. I told this man, I said, listen, if I ever have a son, I'm pulling up on you in Georgia, wherever you are, because he's military, wherever you are. This was before he actually went to school at nighttime and got his license, and now he cut hair in the evening time, even though he got a full-time job military. Good for him. I'm pulling up to this man because I seen your work before you got licensed, and now I'm seeing your work after you got licensed. And let me tell you something, it ain't nothing but up from here. And see, and so so to the little black boys that's cutting hair in the dorm rooms, helping these boys look presentable at
the girls too. And the girls too.
Yes.
I'll tell you.
I have a cousin. She went to A&T. She went to A&T for maybe 2 semesters, maybe a whole year, if that. Homegirl dyed her hair with Kool-Aid and it didn't fall out. Ma'am, if you don't
Wait. In college? As a college student?
No, this girl was in high school when she did that, but she went to A&T.
But when I was in college, I was getting paid $10 a head just to wash her hair.
Yes.
See,
I was always on this campus getting my hair done.
This is what I understand what you were saying about him being in the pharmaceutical, but why give them a reason to lock you up? Because that's what they're looking to do.
I mean, Mark, he did do some fair time, but that's not the point.
No, but what I'm saying, this is what I'm saying. I'm not judging them, but
right,
you giving them a reason to mess with you when there's so many other ways to do it. You can go on. Now, I don't know where everybody lives at, but when I was a teenager, I was making money between January and April. If I wasn't working a job, when it snowed, Mark had his pockets full. Because Mark got that shovel. $25 a driveway. But it goes back to the parents. But it goes back to the parents.
It was in the news. These little boys, they couldn't have been no more than middle school age, and it was like, and I don't know if it was the summertime or like they were doing it after school or whatever. But they got a little wagon. They got a wagon, and they put. Huh? Yeah, and they put their little lawnmower on the wagon, and they would just walk around the neighborhood and cut grass, right? Yep. And so they had a name for their little business. They had a name for their little business, but they didn't have no cards. So somebody blessed them with some cards, and so now they got a little landscape business. You see what I'm saying?
But did you hear that they got a new mower as well? They got somebody donated them more money so they could get more equipment.
But here's the problem. That shouldn't have been news. That should be everyday life.
I know.
No, they were surprised. No. It wasn't the fact that they did it. They had so much business. They had built the business good. They had clients before they even did the news report, Mark. They had like a neighborhood full of clientele.
But
And
that,
so
what I'm saying is,
they spotlighted them because they said these boys are pulling this wagon around this and it was a pretty good sized neighborhood, if I'm not mistaken.
But you're not understanding what I'm saying. Back in the day, that's what we all were doing. The media is, I'm not saying that their job isn't right, but the spotlight these kids, when they all, parents today have made their children, not all children, and I'm not going to generalize all kids, but parents have forgotten how to make kids do hard work.
Some parents, because
Some parents.
So you understand hard work.
Because I made my kids work. If you want them new sneakers, you got to go to work, boo boo. You got to go. But
that's what I'm saying. But you have a lot of parents that don't. That want. I've worked in retail all my life. I remember when we used to say, "Oh, it's Mother's Day." What's Mother's Day?
Oh, the first to the fifth.
They coming in. I know you're on welfare because I only see you once a month. You coming to buy a pair of $200 Jordans. Are you feeding your kids? So if a kid at 5 is getting a pair of Jordans, what they gonna do when they 15?
Ooh,
now,
I wouldn't get no Jordans.
Now, I'm not judging them, but I'm saying you creating a generation of kids who aren't ready for the real world.
But then it goes back to it goes back to being in relationships.
Right.
You know, when you have broken parents who don't even talk about it. They don't even talk about it. I remember my kids and I started talking about sex when they were 5. And then after that, when they were 7. Then after that, I think Allie freaking McBeal made me have to explain 2 women kissing on TV to my damn daughter. And I was like, damn it, okay, turn TV off. Come on, boy. Because whenever we talk about it, everybody gonna know, you know. So let's talk about how 2 women can be together, you know. So I had to teach them communication. I had to teach them that it's not always gonna work in your favor, you know. I think at one point my daughter was a stalker, and I had to tell her.
Oh.
I'm like, you can't do that, boo. You can't do that, because if he was doing it to you, your father would want to kill him. So you can't be. He don't want you. He said no. You gonna have to take no for an answer.
He's not that into you.
But see, here's the problem. Most parents don't say no to their kids.
Oh, so that was my mantra. No.
But
no,
see, that's the problem. So when children, because they never heard no as children, as they get older and they start getting more and more rejection, now they become so.
Well, that's where we get this. Well, that's where that rape culture comes in, because we didn't tell our sons or our daughters, if you see something and you can stop it. You know, don't be scared. You know, it's scary, but if that person is in trouble and you see people are hurting them and you know those people,
you see something, say something. Yes,
you try to stop them outside of yourself getting hurt yourself. You know, we had to, you know, I had to tell my son, no means no. My daughter, no means no, in both terms, you know, because I told my son, I don't care if the girl is completely butt naked and you about to go, you about to stick it all the way in there. She says no, you get up. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing with my daughter. If he don't want you, don't try to force yourself on somebody. Don't do that.
So I'm gonna go ahead and stop everything here. It's been a great conversation. Oh my God, it's been a great conversation. I'm not even sure what's going to be the follow up next week. We're going to have to see because this one was so good. We just came off the womanhood and we did the manhood, and now we're doing love styles. But we got to continue the conversations because, like, we had this general conversation to let people know what it is and how it works. We got to keep talking. This can't be it. We got to share. We got to talk and have conversations with our circles and our children and the children in the neighborhood and say, I don't care about your mama being mad. But we have to because we have to stop the foolishness going on. Because if not, our children are going to be lost. We have to rebuild our village situation. So
Right.
I thank you for being on tonight rather. It was a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful conversation. I hope you, as everyone who watched, I hope they had a great time. Questions, comments, concerns, make sure you hit me up. Make sure you like and share the video and find me on YouTube. And I'm on Spotify. The copy of it will go to Spotify too. So if you missed something, it's there too. I thank you so very much. Everyone have a good evening. Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Good night, everyone.
I'm about to call you, Michelle.
Okay.